Dr. Williams, throughout our history, there is evidence of black-on-black destruction or black self-destruction. Is this true? Is there any type of pattern involved in this type of thing?
Yes, I think there is a pattern which covers most of our history, but I think we need to look at the causes, and the causes are sometimes complex in the sense that they do not seem to be obvious. We ourselves are not aware of what has happened to us in the course of our history, so that we find that what we were doing 6,000 years ago, which mitigated against our own well-being, are about the same thing which we were doing 2,000 years later, another 1,000 years later, and so on down the line. In other words, we have been constantly going in circles, repeating the same errors, which seem to distinguish us somewhat from other people. Now, I think we need to look at what I'm saying here very carefully, because in the study of history, for example, when we get through with the question of what happened, where it happened, when it happened, we are then confronted with the even more important question of how and why. This takes us beyond mere historical data of recording the incidents of history into a field of analysis which involves other disciplines, such as social psychology, such as sociology, and particularly that part of sociology which deals with the study of people in their psychological relations with one another. And then psychology itself. And there are other disciplines which we have to call in to interpret what happened to us. Very simply then, I think in order to get a good picture, because the question raised is probably one of the most crucial confronting our people today. But we need to see it in its developmental processes. We need to see, first of all, that what happened to us as a people differed only in one fundamental particular from what happened to other minority groups which come under the domination of a ruling majority. This very simply is what we call acculturation. In the United States, for example, it would be called Americanization. The process of minorities becoming an American by absorbing and adopting American culture. Now, what is American culture? American culture is essentially and fundamentally Anglo-Saxon culture, German in origin, and anti-African and anti-black traditionally. Every group in this country, in becoming an American then, must absorb, must become a part of the American political or the Anglo-Saxon political ideology. The Anglo-Saxon religious ideology, his philosophical ideology, his social ideology. In sum, the Anglo-Saxon outlook on life. This minorities do is a part of the strategy for survival, as a part of accommodating themselves in order to get as much benefit as is possible living under an alien people. Now, in the case of other groups in this country, to become an American did not mean becoming anti-themselves. An Irishman can become an American and still be loyally devoted to his mother country. So can the Pole. So can the Greek. So can any other ethnic group you might name, except the American blacks. They were cut off completely from their heritage, their history. They had nothing to rely upon, no frame of reference, except that of the white world. Their aspirations then had to be that of the white world. So that from babyhood on, they were learning the ways, the ideas, the aspirations, the outlook of the white man. Their studies were of the black children I'm referring to now, from the earliest primary school days on. Their studies were white studies. They saw nothing that indicated that they themselves were persons of equal worth. They saw everything to the contrary. The whole orientation was the worship of all things white and the degradation of all things black.